Hello po sa lahat. Thank you for inviting me to your school's INSET. Ako po si Mr. Manglikmot. Tito, tawag nila sa akin, Mr. Manglikmot. O di ba ibang accent? But Mr. M is fine. Kahit naman nung nagtuturo pa lang ako dyan sa Pinas, Mr. M or Sir M na ang tawag nila sa akin. Ipahintulot po ninyong managalog ako about 80-90% dahil una, Pinoy naman ako. Pangalawa, Pinoy naman kayo unless may stateside sa inyo. And pangatlo, mas importante, naka-reserve po ang English ko kapag bayad ang serbisyo ko. Since gratis ito, alam na this. Joke lang. I'm pretty sure na na-introduce na ako ni Mr. Molina sa inyo. But I think ang pinakamahalagang impormasyon patungkol sa akin na gusto kong malaman nyo ay, dyan po ako nakatira sa NHC Village, also known as DE. Hanggang ngayon may bahay po kami dyan. Dyan ako lumaki, dyan ako tumanda. At guess what? Sa NSC High School po ako nagtapos noong 1988. Go ahead and do the math. Ibig sabihin po, in one way or another, concerned and connected po ako sa mga batang tinuturuan ninyo. Kasi mga kakomunidad ko sila. Kapag nakatapos po sila ng pag-aaral, mas malaki po ang chance nila na ma-improve ang kanilang kalagayan. And in effect, mag-i-improve din ang aming komunidad. Kaya samantalahin ko po na ang pagkakataong ito na pasalamatan kayo. Kapag okay na ang sitwasyon at nakabalik na kayo sa school building nyo, promise ko, ililibre ko kayo ng milk tea. O Ma'am Weng Padilla, paki-remind mo ako please. Anyway, let's get back to work. Let's listen to Mrs. Nkong's question.
Hi, Mr. M. Thank you for sharing your time with us in our INSET today. Because of this pandemic, we are facing the challenge of online learning and teaching. Sir, based on your experience, what are the best ways to enhance learning via online teaching? And could you please share us some tips or your best practices on teaching online? Again, thank you and God bless.
Thank you for that question, Ma'am Kong. To answer it, allow me to tell you our context from this side of the globe first. Some of you might be aware that New York City was once the epicenter of COVID infection here in America. 2 weeks nang naka-lockdown ang West Coast, ang Los Angeles. Kami po, nasa school pa nagtuturo. Until finally nag-decide ang state governor namin na mag-remote learning kami. Lahat kami nga, ano raw remote learning? Ano yun? Alam ko remote area, tsaka remote control. Pero remote learning, not in my wildest dreams. Having said that, we were given 3 days to learn and set up Google Classroom, lesson plan, or prepare lesson plan, prepare activity sheets for at least 2 weeks. Those were the minimum requirements. Minimum pa lang po yun. Kaya may advantage kayo. Kasi you had 2 months ng sangdamakmak na webinars, hindi po ba? Siguro to answer Ma'am Inkong's question, I would focus more on the tips on teaching online, or should I say mag-focus ako sa teachers. I will cover naman yung best practices on learning online sa mga susunod na tanong. Based on my experience and reflections, this ABC of the new normal helped me a lot. I hope makatulong din sa inyo. A for agility, B for behavior, C for community. Our abilities, knowledge sa subject matter natin is not enough. We need to couple it with flexibility. Very, very important po. Doon po sa 3-day preparations namin, yung first day, at 9 a.m., binigyan kami ng guidelines. Then at 9:27, after 27 minutes, iba na naman yung guidelines. Ang dami naming tanong, ang daming uncertainties. Walang sagot. At nakakatuwa yung principal and the entire admin staff namin. Kasi they were honest enough to admit na wala silang sagot at that moment. Kasi nga new, hence novel. Kaya nga novel coronavirus. May kasabihan po dito sa New York. Sa kanta pa nga, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Dito, and I guess anywhere, survival of the fittest rules. Di po ba mga science teachers? Kung hindi ka fit, tsugi ka. Using simple logic, para makasurvive tayo, we need to do something to fit in. That something is a huge thing called agility. Agility means flexibility, ability to switch, to flip, to turn, to transform, to regroup. Kung kailangan mo tumambling, dumapa, tumalon, whatever. It's a power to adapt to the new norm. In no time, no problem. Behavior. I would say appropriate attitude is an essential element. Proper perspective sa mga bagay-bagay is super important. So with professional mindset and response. Connected ito sa agility because of uncertainty, pabago-bago ang desisyon, pabago-bago ang guidelines, etc. Hindi po dahil kaibigan ko ang principal ninyo o kahit na sinong maging principal ninyo. Unawain natin, let's do an extra mile or two. Pero syempre, ibang usapan na kapag sobra-sobra. To tell you the truth, nangaaway ako ng principal. Alam ni Sir Benji yan. Kaya nga di ako ma-promote nun eh. Well, that's a different talk, different story. So kung may concerns po kayo, address it to the proper channel. Huwag niyo lang ibulong sa iba or ipabulong sa iba. Direct it to the right person in a humane and professional way. But be ready and be open-minded enough po because there will be more questions than answers. So when we say behavior, it's an appropriate attitude, proper perspective, and professional mindset and response. Ang bottom line po, kalma lang. Bago po ito para sa ating lahat. You need to help each other, guys. You need to support each other. Diyan po mapasok ang community, the third element. Na-imagine niyo po ba nakapag-shift kami into remote learning in 3 days without the support of each other? In my opinion po, community is the best pandemic-proof weapon na meron kayo. Tayo. Ulitin ko lang. In my opinion, community is the best pandemic-proof weapon na meron tayo. Bakit ko po nasabi? Well, prior to pandemic, meron po kaming tinatawag na team meetings every week for 40 minutes. I belong to 2 teams, algebra and trigonometry team teachers or teacher teams. Kasama po yun sa load ko. Sa meeting, nagpa-plan po kami ng sharing ng lesson plans, struggles, strategies, collab kami sa paggawa ng exams and all. Minsan, kainan lang, kape-kape, ganon. In other words, na-establish na yung community sa amin before pandemic. So during the preparation, happy-happy kami sa trabaho. Kung meron kaming di maintindihan sa gawa ng iba, we just simply communicate. Kaya magandang ginawa ng DO dyan sa inyo eh. Hinati ang module topics, Kaya printing and distribution na lang ang iisipin ninyo. I mean ni Mr. Benji. So going back to the team meetings, dahil na-establish ng teams, yung 3-day preparations to shift to remote learning, challenging pero carry bells lang. During remote learning, I attend 3 different meetings every week, 30 minutes each. Meron kaming department meeting led by the department head, algebra team led by our team leader, tapos pero nandoon yung department head. In trig team, or trigonometry team, led by our team leader also. Again, nandoon yung department head. So sa lahat ng meetings po, kasama yung department heads namin. Bago pang meeting, minsan binibigay na sa amin ang agenda ng meeting para may idea na kami or concerns kami na masasabi namin agad. Kaya mabilis ang transition. Ganun po yung ginawa namin. Siyempre, on the side, nakikipag-chat, nakikipag-text messaging or conference call ako sa mga teammates ko kung may concern ako. And lastly, may twice a month kaming check-ins for 15 minutes max with my department head. I like it kasi informal kwentuhan lang with my immediate boss. Kahit ano lang pag-usapan, weather, family, plans sa summer, anything, experiences, bago, in-explore mo that week. Pwede ka rin magtanong sa kanya about anything or pwede mo rin itanong yung mga questions tungkol sa school na hindi mo nasabi during the meetings. Community means real talk discussion, constant communication, deep connection, and reliable support system. So again, the ABC of the new normal, agility, behavior, and community po. Now let's listen to Mr. Juliales' question.
Good morning, Mr. M. I'm Mr. Benedicto D. Juliales, teaching mathematics in senior high school. My question is, how do you engage students' interest to learn passionately about mathematics in this new normal?
I really like the 3 keywords that you mentioned, sir. Engage, interest, and passionately. Or passion. Parang pang Miss Universe ang tanong mo, Sarah. Lord. Let me begin with passion. Passion is a process. It is evident when a student is consistently engaged. Mahirap man o madali ang task or assignment, nariyan siya. However, anyone won't be engaged on a task if they are not interested. Tama po ba? So ang challenge natin ngayon ay kung paano natin i-stimulate yung interest sa mga bata sa new normal. Isa sa mga paraan para magkaroon ng interest sa mga bata ay kung may kukonekta natin ang lesson natin sa real-life applications. Medyo challenging ito lalo na sa ating mga math teachers. At may advantage ka rito, Mr. Juliales, kasi nasa senior high school ka. I saw some of the topics, puro application talaga. Stat, probability, general, and business math. So bukod sa kailangan mong i-connect ang lesson sa real-life situations, pwede rin natin gawing interesting ang discussion. Paano? I know for a fact that you guys spend hundreds, if not thousands of hours in webinars. Maaring alam nyo na itong mga ito. Andiyan dyan ang Google Classroom, Google Drive, Google Slide, Google whatever, Google Meet. Alam nyo na yung mga yan. Before I continue, I just want to say that I believe our new normal is slightly different from your new normal. Bakit ko nasabi yan? Kasi may access sa electronic devices and internet connection sa mga bata rito. I will share some of my suggestions later na palagay ko fit sa new normal nyo dyan. So itong mga susunod na maririnig nyo ay base sa mga experiences ko. Again, paano natin gagawin interesting ang lesson? Kailangan may variation ng activities. So, kung familiar kayo sa Edmodo, Kahoot, Flipgrid, Padlet, Pear Deck, Edpuzzle, ilan yan sa mga, well, karaniwang ginagamit. I know there are tons and tons of platforms out there sa website or sa internet. Pero ito yung mga karaniwang ginamit namin in 3 months. So one, Edmodo, para po itong Facebook, but filtered. Similar din siya sa Google Classroom, pero mas familiar ang mga bata dahil nga parang Facebook lang. In a way, it's a marriage of Facebook and Google Classroom, if I may say. Yung Kahoot, parang game platform. Pwedeng by group or individual, pwede sila mag-compete one another. Pero mga quick questions lang ang binabato namin sa kanila. Mostly multiple choice questions. Sa Flipgrid naman, para siyang Snapchat, but filtered. As teachers, may ability kayo to limit their video time. Ibabato niyo po sa kanila yung question in a form of video. Tapos, ibabalik din po nila yung sagot nila in a form of video. So, yung mga bata na ayaw din nila nakikita sila sa video. So, minsan, ang ginagawa nila, nilalagyan nila mga emojis to cover their faces, which is okay. So, maganda po ang Flipgrid. Ang Padlet, parang post-it notes po. Parang quick and short responses. Parang type lang sila. Nagbato ka ng question, type sila doon, short answer, short sentences. Maganda ito sa history or sa science. Ayan. Kasi medyo mahirap mag-type sa math eh. Pero kung reasoning, okay din naman. At least they can explain, tapos so short responses siya, and then they can explain their answers later during the discussion. So Pear Deck, I like this for synchronous class kasi you can pause your recorded video and then follow up your question for discussion. Tapos meron pa silang mga emotional gauge. Pagka in-explore nyo po ang Pear Deck, makikita nyo yung sinasabi ko. Edpuzzle. This is my favorite. It's similar to Pear Deck, but here, you can use YouTube videos. Pwede mong i-customize yung napili mong video from YouTube. So kung may mahabang YouTube video, pwede mo siyang i-cut, i-chop-chop mo sila, tapos pwede mo din silang i-pause somewhere, tapos dun ka magbato ng question. So para din to sa synchronous class discussion. So to segue, pasok tayo sa YouTube. Yes, pati pag YouTube po, pinasok ko na. Nung una, ayaw ko talagang i-video yung sarili ko. Matrabaho. Imagine, I realized an average of 5 hours per video. Tsaka iwas showbiz na ako noon pa eh. Pero remember, agility, kung ayaw ko mawalan ng trabaho, I need to fit in. So, i-promote ko na rin yung channel ko. Mr. M Teaches from Home. Please like, share, and subscribe. Sana makatulong po sa inyo. So, insiste, I attach my YouTube video sa worksheets. And then, sa worksheet ng mga estudyante ko for quick reference. At kung gusto nilang panoorin ahead of time or gusto nilang mag-review, pwede. They can easily access yung aking channel. Now, yung nabanggit ko pong mga platforms, may mga YouTube videos po na magtuturo sa inyo how to do them or how to navigate them. So obviously, and it's a fact, that there is no one platform fits all. Kaya papasok pa rin yung ABC natin, the ABC of the new normal. We need to be agile and behave professionally. So agile kasi pabago-bago, pwede ka magbago ng platform, depende sa nagsawa na yung mga bata, turn ka sa another platform, parang ganon. Sa behavior naman po, professionally, hindi yung ang bilis natin mainis kasi ang daming trabaho. Well, at least may trabaho. Kesa wala, gutom ang abot natin kapag kaganyan. So, paano naman natin i-connect yung community sa interest, sa engagement, and passion ng mga bata? Someone says to become interesting, you need to be interested. So there were days that we surprise our students. We meet with them, but we don't teach. We just listen to them, whatever they want to share out. We let them feel na interested kami sa kanila. At totoo naman interested kami sa kanila. Para ma-update din kami kung anong nangyayari sa kanila. Importante kumokonekta tayo sa mga estudyante natin. Engage with them, show compassion, especially during these trying times. That makes our vocation holistic. You might ask, paano namin gagawin yan? Paano naman namin magagamit ang mga platforms na yan? Hindi lahat may device and internet connection. I absolutely understand. Going back to my premise, our new normal is slightly different from your new normal. But you have your modules. Ang suggestion ko po, supplement your module with links of website and videos via group chat, messenger, and Facebook. Pwede nyo silang message. Itong lesson na to. For this lesson, basahin nyo to or panoorin nyo itong video na to or your YouTube video na to. Sa opinion ko po, kung hindi natin gagawin yan, parang textbook lang ang module nyo. Kapag di nila naintindihan ng example at walang nag-explain, end of the story. What I did with MLQ High School, I offered my service to create YouTube videos on circles. Actually, pinopost ko na yan once in a while sa Facebook account ko. Pero nasa channel ko na yan. Pwede ko rin pong i-offer sa inyo ang service ko habang bakasyon ako. It's free. I actually spoke to Mr. Molina, kay Benji, and kay Ma'am Padilla about it. Slightly. By the way, hindi po ako gumawa ng YouTube channel para kumita. I guess enough na yung blessings ng Lord sa amin to the point that we can even help others too once in a while. Pero kung makadagdag ng income ko ang pag-YouTube, why not, di ba? I promise you, makikinabang kayo. Kaya subscribe na. In all honesty, I made my YouTube channel for professional growth, to cope up with the call of duty as a teacher, and to have a platform to help others, especially these times. In fact, mas marami nga yung YouTube video ko na nagawa para sa Pinas. Sobra na yata yung pa-promote ko. Never mind. Now let us listen to Mr. Election's question.
Hi sir, I'm Mr. Election and I'm teaching philosophy. My question is, based on your experience, kindly give some frequently encountered problems in distance learning and how did you manage it? Thank you.
Very important question, sir. I think the answers are engagement and worksheets turnout. Believe it or not, despite of 240,000 devices distributed by the city of New York, with free Wi-Fi to some of them, and I would conservatively estimate of 85% students namin na may phones. In fact, yung iba, mas maganda at updated pa yung phones kaysa sa akin. Despite of that, meron pa rin hindi nagpapakita sa Google Classroom namin. And it has multiple factors. I think I'll mention two. One, distractions. Kapag nasa bahay ang bata, may TV, may games, Facebook, IG, you name it. We have all of these. Kumbaga, ang tawag doon, first world problem. Second, health conditions. Di namin alam kung ano ang sitwasyon nila. May mga kamag-anak ba silang may sakit o namatay? Or sila mismo yung may sakit? O kailangan nila magtrabaho kasi may sakit yung... Ang dami. Again, epicenter po ng COVID ang New York at that time. As a teacher, I tried to reach them out via people path, email namin sila, phone calls, kung merong classmate na alam namin connected sa kanila, impossible connected sa kanila. So, nagtatanong kami sa kanila para lang makakonekta. By the way, ang Pupil Path po is a paid platform ng school. Nakikita nila doon ang grades nila, doon nakikita din namin lahat ng information, transcripts and all. So, kumbaga yan yung library ng registrar namin. So, we document our reach out. Kapag walang reply or walang responses or walang positive result after several attempts, we forward our concern to our guidance counselors. Sila na ang humahanap sa bata kasi may one guidance counselor kami for every 200 students. Yun lang kasi po ang load nila. So, syempre, ibang context nyo. I spoke to Mr. Molina, sabi niya, 2 counselors lang po for the entire school, 1 for junior and senior high. But I remember nung nariyan po ako, nandiyan pa po ako nagtuturo, sinusuyod ko talaga ang advisory students ko, yung mga hindi na nagpapakita. Well, depende na po yan siguro sa inyo, considering the pandemic situation we have right now. So allow me to share to you 2 special cases I had. One si Alex. Prior to pandemic, ang grade niya first marking period is 80. Second marking period, 85, and then 85 sa third. So nung nag-pandemic, from March to June, nung matapos ang school year, hindi na po siya nagpakita. Kahit ang guidance counselor, di na siya ma-reach out. But I still gave him a passing grade, considering his performance prior to COVID. At hindi talaga namin alam kung ano ang nangyari sa kanya. Ay bawal po kami pumasyal sa bahay ng mga bata. So, may limit kami. May mga tao lang na pwede doon by law. Teachers, hindi po pwede. Yung second case naman namin si Carla. So, struggling student siya sa math. Pero engaged siya sa Google Classroom from March. But early month of May, nagkasakit ang buong family niya. So, nagkaroon ng COVID. So, nalaman namin yun. Tapos din na rin siya nagpakita until closing ng June. So, maatimba namin na ibagsak yung bata. Yung mga ganong sitwasyon. Another problem, sir, ay yung cheating. Pero hindi naman frequent. I'll show you an example. Nakita niyo po dyan na may 2 batang nag-submit. Binilugan ko yung kanilang avatar or yung profile pic nila and their names, binura ko lang. Pero yung worksheets, parehong-pareho po yan. Ang ginawa ko, I conducted an individual conferences with them via Zoom. Tapos 2 na sila, pinagharap ko. Ngayon, di naman sila makadeny kasi may hard evidence. Palagay ko hindi na naulit or hindi ko lang napansin kasi ang daming pictures. Kasi pictures po yung sinasubmit nila sa amin to check. So instead ng hard copy, so sinesend nila sa amin yung sagot nila sa papel, i-picture na nila, send nila sa amin sa Google Classroom. Sa inyo siguro pwede sa Messenger, ganun, be creative po. Now let's listen to the second question of Mr. Election.
Hi again, sir. My second question is, what is the ideal time duration of a teacher-made video presentation in a certain topic? Thank you.
I think the answer to your question, sir, is the shortest possible. Kasi ang attention span ng mga bata maikli na. Kahit nga tayo, matatanda na, short na attention span natin, di po ba? I'm sure may nag-o-open na ng phones nila ngayon. Sa YouTube channel ko, I think my average time is around 6 minutes kasi may keywords and key concept po ako. Pero there was a time na nag 14 minutes yung isang buong lesson ko, inattach ko sa worksheet, and guess what? Konti lang yung nag-submit. Dapat pala yun. So, lesson learned, pinutol ko the next time na magkaroon ako ng lesson na palagay ko mahaba, in-split ko into two. So, one lesson a day. So, ginawa kong 2 araw yun. So, going back, dun sa YouTube channel ko po kasi, meron akong keyword and key concept. Accommodation kasi po yun, yung keyword para sa mga English learners. I try to break down the mathematical terminologies hanggat kaya ko to make it simple and understandable. Importante po kasi sa math na maintindihan ng mga bata ang keyword para mas naiintindihan nila yung sample problem ko. Ang math kasi is a subject that involves 2 languages. English tsaka math. Di ba? Sabay yun. So kung hindi mo ma-explain yung English muna, nga nasa math. Di po ba? Kung mali yung understanding sa English, mali yung math. In closing, yan, matatapos na ako. Yes. As I had claimed earlier, our new normal is slightly different from yours. O baka nga super duper different. But our new normals, our both new normals, have one important intersection. One time tinanong ako ng aming pastor, Kuya Joe, anong trabaho mo? Teacher, ang sagot ko. Bakit? Follow up ni pastor. Hindi na ako nakasagot. Kasi inisip ko, duh, common sense. But over time, na-realize ko, oo nga no, hindi pala ako math teacher lang. Dapat abala ako maghanda ng mga bata para sa kanilang hinaharap. Ihanda sila paano maging mabuting mamamayan, may malasakit sa kapwa at kalikasan, preparing the next generation for the future. And that is our intersection. No matter how similar or different our new normals may be, yun yung intersection natin. Concern tayo sa next generation, sa future nila. Yes, the new normal is challenging, confusing most of the time, painful sometimes, and it needs courage. Pero kung hindi ka sasabay, maiiwan ka. Para tayong mga archers, education is the bow, our students our arrows.
We need to stretch our arms, flex our muscles, use our keen eyes to envision the target where we want them to land on. I know it's cliche, but true enough, the future of my community is in your hands. Maraming salamat po.